Singapore just dropped $8 billion on something that has the entire nation talking. Marina Bay Sands, that iconic three-tower resort with the boat-shaped structure on top, is getting a fourth tower. But this isn't your typical hotel expansion. The budget has exploded from the original $3.3 billion estimate to over $8 billion, making it one of the most expensive resort expansions in history. The project has sparked fierce debate across Singapore, with locals calling the new tower everything from out of place to a huge dehumidifier. So, what exactly is Singapore building? Why is it so controversial? And who is this massive investment really for? Let's break down the $8 billion gamble that's reshaping one of Asia's most recognizable landmarks. Back in 2006, Singapore needed to make a statement. The city-state was already a financial powerhouse, but it lacked the cultural magnetism of Hong Kong, Dubai, or Las Vegas. The government's solution was audacious: transform the Marina Bay waterfront with a mega resort that would become the country's calling card. Las Vegas Sands Corporation won the contract, and architect Moshe Safdie delivered a design that seemed to defy physics itself. The concept featured 3 hotel towers, each standing 55 stories tall at roughly 191 meters. But here's where it gets wild. These towers don't stand straight. They lean inward by up to 26 degrees, creating a massive atrium at ground level. Then, balanced on top of all 3, sits a 340-meter-long horizontal structure called the Sky Park. This single platform is 1.2 hectares in size and hosts gardens, restaurants, an observation deck, and the world's largest rooftop infinity pool stretching 150 meters across the Singapore skyline. Building this thing was an engineering nightmare. The site itself didn't even exist 50 years earlier. It was reclaimed land, filled with sand from the 1970s through the 1990s. Engineers had to sink 5,000 foundation piles up to 50 meters deep just to reach stable ground. Without this, the towers would have slowly tilted and sunk into the soft, reclaimed earth. Each tower required reinforced concrete shear walls 71 centimeters thick at their base, along with massive steel trusses to tie the flared legs together and prevent the structures from collapsing under their own weight. When Marina Bay Sands opened in April 2010, it had cost $5.5 billion, making it the most expensive standalone casino resort ever built at the time. Marina Bay Sands now receives 45 million visitors annually and celebrated its 500 millionth visitor in March 2025. In 2024 alone, the resort generated $4.23 billion in net revenue. Over its lifetime, Marina Bay Sands has contributed between 1.5% and 2.7% of Singapore's entire GDP. The complex employs 11,800 people directly and creates approximately 20,000 additional jobs indirectly. Over 90% of procurement spending goes to local suppliers, pumping billions into Singapore's economy. Marina Bay Sands became more than a building. It became Singapore's signature, appearing in video games like Mario Kart and standing as one of Southeast Asia's most photographed structures. In April 2019, Las Vegas Sands announced plans to expand Marina Bay Sands with a project called IR2. The initial proposal seemed straightforward enough: add a 1,000-room tower adjacent to the original 3 for an estimated $3.3 billion. Then COVID-19 hit, and everything went silent. The pandemic shut down global tourism, casinos emptied out, and the expansion was put on indefinite hold. When IR2 resurfaced in October 2024, the project had transformed completely. The budget had more than doubled to $8 billion, and the scope had shifted dramatically. Instead of 1,000 standard rooms, the new tower would feature just 570 luxury suites. The focus had narrowed to ultra-wealthy travelers, reflecting how the post-pandemic economy had widened the gap between the rich and everyone else. Travel costs had soared, economic recovery was uneven, and luxury resorts worldwide were chasing the top tier of wealth where the real money was flowing. The revised IR2 wasn't just a hotel anymore. It would include its own standalone casino, a 2-level observation deck called Sky Loop, and a massive 15,000-seat entertainment arena. Las Vegas Sands signed an agreement for an additional $1 billion in funding by January 2025, securing an extra 12,000 square meters of floor space. This brought the total cost even higher, pushing past the $8 billion mark. Across the globe, resorts are pivoting upmarket because that's where the money is concentrated. The pandemic accelerated wealth inequality, and companies like Las Vegas Sands are adapting their business models accordingly. IR2 represents a calculated bet that Singapore's future as a tourism destination would depend on attracting the world's wealthiest travelers, even if that means leaving average tourists behind. The financial stakes are enormous, but what exactly are they building for $8 billion? The centerpiece of IR2 is the 570-suite luxury hotel tower. Unlike the original Marina Bay Sands, which mixed standard rooms with suites, every unit in the new tower will be a suite. The building will feature its own signature rooftop experience with the 2-level sky loop observation deck. This space will include upscale restaurants, rooftop gardens, private cabanas for exclusive guests, yoga zones, and a cantilevered wellness terrace extending out over the edge of the building. The tower itself will stand 55 stories tall and lean forward at a 45-degree rotation, creating a dramatic visual statement while maintaining architectural ties to the original 3 towers. The 15,000-seat entertainment arena might be the most ambitious part of the entire project. Positioned between the new tower and the original complex, the arena sits 245 meters above ground level. It's being designed by the same minds behind the Las Vegas Sphere, and it's intended to become Asia's leading live entertainment venue. The arena will host concerts, sporting events, and large-scale performances, giving Singapore a world-class venue that can compete with anything in Hong Kong, Tokyo, or Dubai. Las Vegas Sands is betting that this arena will draw international acts and audiences, turning Marina Bay into a must-visit destination for live entertainment. IR2 will also add 200,000 square feet of premium MICE space. MICE stands for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, and it's a massive revenue driver for Singapore. Business tourism brings in high-spending corporate clients, and Singapore has built much of its tourism strategy around attracting conferences and conventions. The additional MICE space will allow Marina Bay Sands to host even larger events and compete more aggressively with other Asian business destinations. IR2 will also feature a standalone casino with a main gaming floor, plus a sky gaming concept located higher up in the tower. This premium gaming area targets high rollers who want privacy and exclusivity. By January 2025, Las Vegas Sands had secured approval for an additional 2,000 square meters of gaming space, bringing the total gaming area to roughly 17,000 square meters. The casino will operate separately from the original Marina Bay Sands casino, allowing the resort to manage different customer segments more effectively. Engineering this expansion presents challenges comparable to the original construction. The new tower's 45-degree rotation and forward lean require sophisticated structural engineering to prevent the building from collapsing under its own weight. The 2-level sky loop must account for thermal expansion, wind loads, and the natural movement of the building throughout each day. Engineers will likely use expansion joints similar to those in the original Sky Park, allowing the structure to flex without cracking. The cantilevered wellness terrace will need internal truss systems to distribute weight back into the tower core, much like the original Sky Park's 67-meter cantilever. Luxury retail boutiques, wellness spas, and exclusive dining venues will fill out the remaining space. Every element of IR2 has been designed with the ultra-wealthy traveler in mind. Standard amenities have been stripped away in favor of premium experiences that command premium prices. This is a resort within a resort, a sealed-off world of luxury, accessible only to those who can afford the entry price. When IR2 opens in January 2031, Marina Bay Sands will be unlike any resort complex in Asia. But the expansion raises uncomfortable questions about who benefits from Singapore's relentless drive toward luxury tourism. Singapore's visitor numbers tell a powerful story. In 2009, the year before Marina Bay Sands opened, Singapore attracted 9.7 million visitors. By 2019, that number had nearly doubled to 19.1 million. Marina Bay Sands played a central role in that growth, transforming Singapore into a must-visit destination. But maintaining that momentum has gotten harder. Regional competition is intensifying, with Macau expanding its casino offerings, Osaka preparing to open integrated resorts, and Thailand seriously considering casino legalization. Singapore can't afford to stand still. Patrick Dumont, President and Chief Operating Officer of Las Vegas Sands, has a clear vision for why IR2 matters. He's betting on Southeast Asia's demographic trends. The region is filled with young, entrepreneurial people working hard and earning more money than previous generations. Dumont believes these consumers want to consume and experience things that are unique, luxury, and aspirational. IR2 targets that emerging wealthy class, along with ultra-high net worth individuals from around the world who want the best Singapore has to offer. The financial stakes are staggering. When IR2 completes, Las Vegas Sands' total investment in Singapore will exceed $15 billion. Marina Bay Sands currently generates $4.22 billion in annual revenue, representing 37% of Las Vegas Sands' global revenue. Roughly 70% of that comes from casino operations. The company is doubling down on Singapore because the market has proven extraordinarily profitable. IR2 is designed to push that profitability even higher by targeting the wealthiest segment of travelers who are willing to spend exponentially more than average tourists. Prime Minister Wong's Greater Southern Waterfront vision provides context for where Singapore is heading. Marina Bay is just one piece of a much larger transformation. The government envisions an entire southern waterfront stretching 6 times the size of Marina Bay, filled with mixed-use developments, cultural attractions, and luxury residential areas. Singapore is positioning itself as a premium destination across every dimension, from tourism to business to lifestyle. IR2 fits perfectly into that strategy. But there's a darker side to this relentless pursuit of luxury. Projects like IR2 make cities more lucrative while making them less accessible to ordinary people. Singapore has always been expensive, but the shift toward ultra-luxury tourism accelerates that trend. When resorts focus on 570 luxury suites instead of 1,000 standard rooms, they're explicitly choosing exclusivity over accessibility. When public spaces get replaced with private cabanas and premium wellness terraces, the message is clear. This isn't for you unless you're wealthy. Marina Bay Sands was originally built to transform Singapore's global image and drive economic growth. It succeeded brilliantly, but IR2 reveals how that success has narrowed Singapore's vision of who its future is for. The expansion will create jobs, generate tax revenue, and attract wealthy visitors. It will also make Marina Bay even more of a playground for the ultra-rich, further distancing it from the average Singaporean who can no longer afford to experience their own national icon the way they once could. Construction is underway, and Las Vegas Sands is confident the bet will pay off financially. But whether Singapore wins or loses in this gamble depends on how you measure success. If success means revenue, Singapore will win big. If success means creating a city that feels inclusive and accessible to its own people, IR2 represents a step in the opposite direction. The future Singapore is being built with Marina Bay Sands is undeniably impressive, but it's increasingly a future designed for the few who can afford it. So, what do you think about Singapore's $8 billion gamble? Is the fourth tower a worthy addition to an architectural icon, or does it compromise what made Marina Bay Sands special? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this deep dive interesting, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating construction stories. Until next time, stay curious.